Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is going to be my January wrap up and my February TBR. It's going to be a very short video. It's going to be a very simple, not too many books to talk about, just kind of chill to be honest. I'm taking reading a little less seriously this year. I feel like I'm just doing it at my own pace. I think in my vlog that I just did, kind of talk a bit about what's been going on in my life in January. It's just meant that my headspace has not really been there in terms of reading. So I only read 3 books in January, which is not much to be honest. So yeah, let's just talk about the 3 books I did finish in January. The first book I finished was an audiobook and it was All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the 3rd book in the Natural series and I listened to it as I said. I have found that I like them a bit more when I've been listening to them. I did also read Killer Instinct, which is the second one, and I feel like, yeah, it's more fun to listen to because it's young adult. It's so like fast paced. There's not a lot of depth to these books, but I feel like that's why it's good to listen to them because obviously you don't need to pay too much attention. I also feel like these books have multiple characters, and at the point we're at now, they're so specific that I can really like tell who's talking in the audiobooks. Even if they didn't have different like voices, I'd still be able to tell the difference. I ended up rating it 4 stars, which is I think the same as I rated Killing Instinct. I've rated these 2 that I've listened to 4, and then the Naturals I rated 3.75. So I do think the audiobook is enhancing my reading experience. So I'm going to continue on that route for the last one. But yeah, really enjoyed it to be honest. I would definitely recommend if you want like a very easy to read series. You might not love it if you're over the age of maybe 21, but it's still like you're not going to dislike it, I don't think, unless you're going in hoping for something really like deep. Then I listened to My Friends by Frederick Bachman. This one I rated a 4 stars as well. I do feel like it probably wasn't the best book to listen to, so if I could go back in time, I probably wouldn't listen to it. And I also feel like maybe it wasn't the right time in my life to read or listen to this book, but I still liked it. I just feel like maybe I didn't have that like impactful moment, which I think I probably would have had if I had read it and maybe read it like in a couple months' time. But I do see why everyone loves it. I love Frederick Bachman and his writing is really amazing and like it really makes you feel like it's a real story, which I feel like is quite unique. Like I know books do kind of feel like they could be real, but like his writing, it feels like that is a story that's happening. It doesn't really feel like it's a story made for your entertainment, if that makes sense. I did really enjoy it. I would definitely recommend any of his books, to be honest. All the ones I've read so far I've really enjoyed. And then the 3rd and final book I read in January was The Housemaid's Secret by Frida McFadden. This one I started reading and ended up listening to it. So all 3 of these books I think I'm going to classify as audiobooks. And I think that does just sum up my month, to be honest. I just haven't really had the time or the headspace, as I said, to sit down and read. A lot of this has been like listening to it on the journey to work, journey back from work, and I'm cleaning, that kind of thing. I did like it. I think I rated it 4 stars, which is the same as what I rated The Housemaid. I think I prefer The Housemaid still, but I did really like this. I feel like, I don't know what it was about the story, but it just felt less scary or like intense, I guess. I don't really think that's necessarily a bad thing because it's still a thriller at the end of the day, but I wasn't scared. Not that I was that scared in The Housemaid, but I definitely was like, what is Millie gonna do? Whereas in this one, I don't know, and maybe it's just because you know that it worked out in the end of The Housemaid, you know that Millie is probably going to figure it out in this one too. What I will say though, and what really did frustrate me, is how Millie treated her boyfriend. I can't remember his name. The amount of times she like forgot to turn up to dates that they'd arranged or dinners or whatever, it just really got my nerves. Like, I know it's not serious and I know like that relationship was never going to be like a lasting relationship. It's literally a thriller. I just found it really annoying because he wasn't a bad person. I think I have this with a few books. I had a similar thing with Same Time Next Summer by Annabelle Monaghan, where the partner that you're meant to dislike hasn't really done anything wrong, and then the main female character is kind of treating them badly. It's not even that I dislike it, it's just like it doesn't sit well with me, it just frustrates me a bit. So I've just realised all 3 of these books were 4 stars. I think this one actually might be a 3.75 if I'm being completely honest, but yeah, all very similar rating wise, none that I loved and none that I didn't like, so it's definitely not a bad read month. And then I thought we could just very quickly talk about some books I'd like to get to in February. I do tend to have good reading months in February. I've kind of had a look back and it tends to be one of my better months. I think because obviously in general, January is kind of like a busy month because you're going back to things after Christmas and that kind of thing. And obviously my birthday, I have a lot of birthdays in January actually. But I feel like in February I do read a lot and I do tend to read romance in February, which is probably just to do with the fact that Valentine's Day is in February. But I do also think February is like I'm getting excited for spring and I don't even like spring that much. So I've picked 4 books I want to finish in February because as I said, I need to read 4 books a month. The first one that I want to finish is The Rural Diaries by Hilary Burton Morgan. This was one I started at the end of December and I still haven't finished. It's just the start of her life, I guess, and then the start of her post One Tree Hill life. And then I know she has another book out that I think is more of her recent life. And I really like it. Like I like learning about her life and it's so unique for a celebrity to have a farm and like be in this small community. I feel like you don't picture celebrities to be like this, and especially because obviously she's married to Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who is another big actor. Like you just wouldn't expect 2 big actors to go to a small town, and like Paul Rudd is there as well. Like it's just very unique. I'm enjoying it. I haven't got too long left. I should really finish this in the next few days, but we'll see. Then I have Daydream by Hannah Grace. This one is the 3rd and possibly final book in the Maple Hills series. The first book is Icebreaker, and the second book is Wildfire. Not sure if that's right, but I really, really loved Icebreaker when I read it, and it's an ice skater with a ice hockey romance. Then the second one is one of the other ice hockey players and another girl, and this one is Henry, the ice hockey player we all love, with another girl. So it is kind of like a wintry kind of romance, but obviously the first one I feel like is the most wintry. This one's just been on my shelf since it came out, which is at least a year ago now, and I need to get to it. So I put it on as like the romance I want to read in February, but it doesn't mean I'll get to it because it is quite thick. And the 3rd book I want to get to is Bad Blood by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. You're probably expecting this by what I said earlier. This is the 4th and final book in the Natural series, so it'll be good to close that series off. Obviously, it's a big book, but as I said, I've been listening to them and I've been preferring them when I've listened to them. So I just want to carry that on. I might as well read it now because I think if I leave it too long, I'm just not going to read it, and I've been enjoying them, so why wouldn't I just finish it off? And then the 4th book I want to get to is The Favourites by Lane Fargo. This one I have actually started listening to it. I just have found it very hard to follow. I think I'm about 15% through and I don't really know what's going on. So I think I'm going to restart by reading the first like 100 pages and then maybe I'll listen from there once I kind of have a bit more of an understanding of what I'm listening to. I'm excited for this. Obviously, it's ice skaters, it's like a romance, but it's also a bit literary fiction, a bit women's fiction, similar to Daisy Jones and the Six, I'm pretty sure, in terms of its format. So I do really want to get to this. I think this and Rural Diaries are like my 2 top books, and then Bad Blood I probably will get to just for the audiobook, and then we'll have to see about Daydream. But those were the 4 books that I did choose to read this month. I will see you in the next video. I'm hoping to do some sort of vlog. I know I've been a bit behind in my videos. I hope you guys don't care too much about that. I've just had a bit of a hard time. So yeah, I'm hoping to do a vlog soon. Not too sure what. I also have a plan for another vlog at the end of February. I hope you enjoyed and I will see you in my next video.